All right, so I want to talk to you about auditory hallucinations. I'm smiling because it's my favorite thing from gang stalking. It is absolutely terrifying. So, a couple of things about auditory hallucinations. There are two types of auditory hallucinations. There are one, the voice in your head that you feel like it's someone else inside of your head talking. Second, the sounds that you hear outside of you. Those are the auditory hallucinations I want to talk to you about. Also, I'm going to tell you how gang stalkers control those. So, auditory hallucinations have localization properties. And by that I mean, you know that when you hear something, you know where it's coming from. You know, you have an idea of how far it is or in what direction. So auditory hallucinations have this property. They have localization properties where you feel that you know where the voice is coming from. And they are indistinguishable from reality. So you never know when they kick in, when they start, and you never know when they are, if you're not looking at where they're coming from, you never know if they're actually real or they're not. But this is how you can control them. This is what I used to figure out how which ones that this is what I used to figure out how or that they were actual hallucinations. So I was in my dorm at the homeless shelter, right? I was laying in bed and then I heard sounds from the window. And I walked outside and the people whom the voices belonged to weren't there. In fact, there was hardly anyone out there when I peeked out through my window. And this happened a lot of times and I was like, well, that's weird. So then things happened, which I'm gonna tell you later. They're not important right now. So things happened, and then I kind of, among those voices, one of them was a thought of mine. What I was thinking, one of them. And I was like, well, that's weird. And then that's when I was like, do they have a speaker outside that is projecting to me what I'm thinking? And then I was like, that's exactly how I know that they're listening to me. So this is what gave me the idea that they knew what I was thinking, was because I was hearing my thoughts in another voice outside of my window. So then I was like, what the hell? They have a speaker. So then I went outside again and there was no one. But then I kept hearing my thoughts outside of the window. So that's the only thing that made sense at that point. So then I was convinced for a while that they could hear my thoughts. This is why I thought that they could hear my thoughts, was because I kept hearing my thoughts outside of the window. And then when I looked out the window, I saw a group of them and they were holding something, but I needed contacts. I wear contacts, but I wasn't wearing them because I only use them for job interviews. So I would only to see when I need to see clearly. And I saw them kind of getting something, So I went downstairs, and outside of where they were at, and I didn't see anything. They always walked away. Like they knew. I felt like they knew what I was thinking. They knew that I was hearing things. At least that's what it felt like. I don't know if they actually even knew. So then I was like, okay. So then things happened where that took a big play, where I was convinced that they knew what I was thinking, because I kept hearing my thoughts outside of the window. So then I looked at my roommate Chivas, and he went like this. He has powers. He began whispering things, and then the voices that I was hearing said things that were in relationship with he has powers. Like it was the beginning. So then I tried whispering something. I said, "Oh my God, my pussy." And then the voices that I was hearing began changing things, saying things along those lines. So then they were saying, "Oh, he's awful, he's this, he's that." And then I murmured, I whispered, "Oh, he's fucking hot, I want him to pound my pussy." And then the voices began saying that. So then that's how I learned. That is exactly how gang stalkers control the voices in your head. They control the illusions by whispering things. So then I changed all the voices in my head to, "Oh my God, he's so fucking hot, he's amazing." So those voices were my subconscious mind. They gave me access to my subconscious mind. So I learned how the mind works because of the auditory hallucinations that I was having. So they pretty much, the thoughts in your mind are bouncing in your head from one neuron to another until you change it. So then I began using this, and I was just smiling because all the voices in my head were like, "Oh my God, he's so fucking hot. He's so much fun. And he's amazing." And after that, I changed it. I know I just said my name, but I don't care. Two things are going to happen. Or they're going to stalk me harder, which is what I want, or they're going to not fuck with me anymore. Which is actually what I don't want. I plan on doing everything to get gang stalked again. Because I want to live this stuff again. Anyways. Yeah, so that's how I learned how to control the voices. Well, the beginning of learning how to control the voices. So if you're getting gang stalked, and there you hear people around you saying things, whisper. So, oh yeah, there was you will feel like your ears prick up, and you're gonna feel fluttering in your ears. When you feel that means that you are more susceptible to the manipulation of auditory hallucinations. So gang stalkers know this. They know how they can change the voices in your head. But now you know. Try it. Whisper something, and the voices in your head are going to change. If you're getting gang stalked right now, let me tell you, you can control the voice in your head. But you might not even be aware that you're hearing things, because you can't. The only way to try it out is to whisper something completely opposite, and see if what the voices are saying change. And there's how I started to learn how to control the voices. So, well, at least the auditory hallucinations. Now, I'm gonna tell you how I learned to control the voices in my head. So, the voices in your head are completely disconnected from everything that you're doing, and they tell you some wild stories. I still don't know if gang stalkers have the ability to impact those. But let me tell you, what you imagine has a huge impact. So I was hearing the voice of the voice that was the rudest, the meanest to me. It was a chick. So then I was so mad at her that I got on my iPhone, and then I drew what she would look like, and I called her, I named her shit cunt. So I got like how I envisioned her. So it was like a hot woman model with like pussy lips instead of a mouth. And then I was designing her, right? So then she began saying, hey, blah, blah, how dare you? I'm hot and I'm this and I'm that. So then there's another voice in my head. I was at Panera Bread in Coronado when I was doing this. So then the voice of the dumb one was on my side, and he was laughing at her at the name shit cunt. And he would say, oh, that's so funny, la shit. And then he began naming her shit cunt. And that was the funniest thing ever. So I was having fun with that. And then I began imagining, I gave her a body. So I imagined her from the video game BioShock. And I imagine her as the AI BioShock chick. And then I made her like fly in my imagination. And then the voice said, look, I'm flying. And like her demeanor changed. She became really nice. And she became my friend. And then she said, look at me, I'm so pretty. And then I made her like fly and jump and go in the water and dance. I turned her into this beautiful thing, and she became my friend. And she began helping me. And then I used the image of her that I had in my imagination, and I attached the voice to her. So then I used my imagination to make the image of her say something that I wanted her to say. And boom, I controlled the voice in my head. I was able to control the voice in my head. So then I made some new neural connections, I guess, because then I hung from there, and then I began imagining all the other voices. I give all the other voices a body and a face, and then I made them say something, what I wanted, and I reconnected them to me via my imagination. And then from there, I learned how to control the voices themselves. Then I learned that all the voices were controlled by me. All the voices were me, because I had full control of them. And all of those voices were a different part of my character. The mean one, the funny one, the innocent one. There were like 5 or 6. And then they became me. And that's how I pull myself together. By using my imagination. Who the hell would have thought, right? Oh, so there was one voice. You know how like you have your, so at this point I knew that my brain, my personality had been divided in two. There was me and me in my head, right? And he still talked to me. So I have made everything possible to keep this partition in my character alive. Because I feel like in my head, like there is, Gang Stalking had done something where they split my personality, but it is literally another version of me inside my head whom answers to me. And I made him to be the highest version of me. And since it's how I imagine him, it's me, but perfect. And he is everything I'm not yet, and what I aspire to be. So when I had to do a presentation because I wanted to be involved in marketing at one of my clients, I wanted to help her with her web design. And I asked him, how should I present this to her? And the voice explained it to me on how to do it. So there is a part of me that has access to my subconscious mind, and I kept those doors open because I can count on him knowing more about me than I am. So he helps me now. I have access to my higher self, direct access, whom has access to my subconscious mind. And I can mold, since I have experience with the voices were my subconscious thoughts. That's why my self-esteem was so bad, because I had these bad thoughts about me bouncing around my head. And when I learned how to control the voices, I learned how to control my subconscious mind, which is why my self-esteem is to the freaking roof now. Let me tell you, I feel invincible, and I feel that gang stalking has given me the greatest gift ever, which is a better understanding of how the mind works. And I want more. So that's why I'm doing these videos also, because I'm trying to organize these thoughts, and I'm trying to understand more about the mind, more about gang stalking, and more about its function, and more on ways to use my brain. What the hell how I would have never found out that I can use my brain to have another me in it that helps me when I don't know something. So yeah, gang stalking has been the worst and the best thing that has happened to me, because I feel invincible. I feel like if I have an incredible control of my mind beyond the typical person, human being. And it's something so incredible and so fulfilling that I want to document this so that people can understand and I can hopefully teach them how to use their brain aspects that will help them. Like whenever I have been able to quit drugs because I have learned how to control my subconscious mind. I have learned how to have those subconscious thoughts. I know how to stop them in their tracks and not use. I haven't had a single craving. Whenever I have a memory, I can actually use my mind to just block that memory and not have it again. And just eliminate everything that is connected with drugs. And additionally, I know that I can actively not think about gang stalking. I can get rid of all that memory. Not get rid of the memory, but I can put it in the background. I can get rid of it. Like that's why none of the triggers that worked before all of a sudden don't work. None of them. Because I learned how to control my mind the way that I want it. not how they want it to work. I am in control now. I am in control of my mind. And that's why all of a sudden, gang stalking doesn't work on me. Because I'm the boss again. And you can be too. All right, talk to you later. Bye. So, lastly, I want to add, there is no such thing of voice to skull. I'm going to tell you what it feels like and why it is that one thinks that that's what it is. And also, I'm going to explain to you. Oh, yeah. And also, whoever is adamant at convincing you that you are being targeted with technology and whatever is a gang stalker. The people with the most conviction on pushing this narrative are the ones that you have to be wary of. All right? They are the ones that want you to believe that they're using technology on you, but it's not. It's all in your head. Remember, the goal of gang stalking is to make you schizophrenic, to make you unable to participate in society. And it is to drive you crazy, to make you insane. What do you think that believing that someone is using, that there's being voices projected into your head, mind control with technology, and direct energy weapons isn't being schizophrenic enough? Pay attention. I'm here to help you, and I'm the real deal. I'm going to tell you how it is, and I'm going to get attacked for it, but I don't care. I'm going to keep making these videos for you. All right? So that you have the power, and they don't have the ability to take that from you. Now I'm actually going. Take care. I love you.